You're listening to The Alex Jones Show. Live from Austin, Texas, broadcasting worldwide, it's Alex Jones.
Ladies and gentlemen, he only executed the law faithfully as a federal officer with an astounding track record and exemplary awards in the DEA. Then he was one of the longest-serving, most successful sheriffs ever in Maricopa County, executing the law. Then George Soros put millions of dollars in to stop him, clear election fraud, removed him very narrowly, and now, like a phoenix rising back, despite the fact that the globalists are giving 20-to-1 money to his competitor, he's now in a dead heat, ladies and gentlemen. Joe Arpio in dead heat with, I'm not going to say their name, in GOP race for U.S. Senate in Arizona. Now, just like internal bots showed, and I told you that Trump was 15 points ahead, Hillary stole 5 states, tried to steal others. State Homeland Security has exposed it. We now know 7+ million people voted with the names of dead folks. Project Veritas exposed the Democrats admitting that. They're going to hit him with massive fraud, but it doesn't matter. We have all got to get very aggressive to get Sheriff Arpio, who's already served a long, long career defending this republic, in there. But we can do it. Just like we got the message to President Trump, he didn't even know that he was going to be put in prison by a federal judge for executing the law. So we can do it. And this is the time, but we are facing criminals. And so he is the guy we must have. I'm not saying the other candidate's evil. I'm just saying he is the literal knight in shining armor, the committed person, and it's a message to the globalists as well. You destroy people that stand up for what's right, we will rebuild them the next day. You know, I want to use the Christ allegories, but we'll use the Phoenix allegory because he's out in Phoenix. Sheriff Joe for America.com. Now, these are establishment polls where we know they sample establishment people, but it's just amazing. How do folks get behind this? Tell us about the Senate race, and thanks for joining us.
Well, thank you. Thank you for your hard work, Alex. Glad we have you. You can't always listen to the other networks, which they call fake news. So thank you.
Well, thank you. Yeah, they've been saying that I say there's a Mars base with kids on it. There's no video of me saying it. They just say I said that, just like they say you hate Mexicans when, you're married to. I mean, it's just they're such liars.
Well, yeah, but that's something they've been after me since at least the last 15 years when I started the fight against illegal immigration. And you know what happened the last election, the biggest fraud that they perpetrated against me, emanating from the Holder and Obama district judges, wouldn't even give me jury trial. So I can go on a misdemeanor, contempt of court. How can you beat a contempt of court by a judge? You think the other judges are going to rule against me or for me? No, they rule against me.
Well, we've only got you for this segment and the next, and I want to get into the Senate race. I want listeners all over the country to donate, to get involved, to travel there, to get on the job, to show them you destroy one of our people, we will build them back up. Now, this is so important to get you in the Senate, but expanding on that, since you raised that, we now know, can we put it behind me on screen for TV viewers? Because our folks built this working with other folks. We have the list. In fact, I lost my list. Will you guys bring it back in, the list of the people at the Justice Department and FBI that we compiled that have either recused themselves, been fired, or removed from the deputy director on down. There's the list. Obama, Lynch, Comey, Sally Yates, of course, Hillary fired by not being elected, McCabe, Orr, Carlin, Page, Stork, Baker, Prinstap, and then on down, literally all the same people hiring their wives and husbands at Fusion GPS for the fake dossier. McCain then delivers the fake dossier, got caught lying about it. Just the way they tried to kangaroo court you into prison. This whole Russia thing about Trump, you've been on the parallel rails, literally being railroaded into prison like they're trying to do our president, when it turns out Hillary is above her eyeballs in Russian collusion. Can you speak to that?
Well, it was sad because I spent, 30 years with the Federal Drug Enforcement. Most of the time in management, regional director. I can go on and on. And my whole life was dedicated in that federal system. And now what I'm hearing that's going on in Washington with our law enforcement agencies and officials and the federal courts, it's kind of sickening. But you know what? You got to be a fighter. I did run for sheriff in '92, and I got beat last year. And you know the story behind that. And I went into retirement, decided to come out of retirement, which I really wasn't retired. I was still active in certain situations. So I decided, my wife and I have been married 60 years a couple of weeks ago, so I had to talk to her on this. And I decided to run for U.S. Senate, the flake seat. So I'm going to take a lot of criticism, Alex. You know that. Right now, they're hitting me in all ways you can think of. The head of the Democratic Party, Tom Perez, he's the one that did the hatchet job on me, according to orders from Obama. And now he's saying he's going to get me no matter what it takes. You know, he can be my guest. Call me a convicted criminal, the misdemeanor, contempt of courts. Same time you can get for a dog barking. Now, the president, Trump, pardoned me on that case. He knew it was all garbage, so I have to thank him.
Well, plus you were convicted by a Democrat operative judge. That's why paralleled, if we can put that on full screen for people, of almost everyone in that small network of people, 25 total, but only about 12 in the inner circle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I mean, you know, we're not talking about many people. Total 20-something. And almost all of them have been totally discredited, and they're on their own email and text messages admitting it's a fraud premeditatedly to set the president up. Same thing on you. They're committed the crimes, not us.
Well, but they don't know I have some information regarding that situation, a dossier and so on. So I'll be talking about that soon, the people behind that. So when they take me on, they seem to forget I'm not a typical politician. I'm a law enforcement official. I've been around as sheriff for 24 years, and then all my other experience. So I have information. I'm not some politician that goes by vote records and then they switch over at the last minute to say how great our president is, which of course he is. So when you're dealing with a law enforcement guy that does take on tough issues, including the fake birth certificate and how they went after me, the Justice Department, they're doing the same thing against Donald Trump. So I'm used to that, and I feel sorry for the president, and I'm going to, I hope, get elected to the Senate, be an ally and friend of his, and all, because that means it helps Arizona. His policies and agenda helps the people of Arizona that I expect to represent.
Well, that's the bottom line, is that we are all been on the same path, not as much as you or not as much as Trump. I mean, I've not personally been through what you've been through, but I'm a lot younger. I've experienced going after your kids, your family, your name, lying about you, trying to destroy your business, suing you. And that's why if somebody's good, standing up for the average person and really being wholesome, they're going to come after you. And it's the same thing. It's like Trump said 2 years ago. Look, the DREAM Act as it is a blank check to come in and bring your family in. If you can prove you've been here legally since you were a kid, whatever, yeah, go to a judge, we'll let you stay. Then he says, we're going to do that now. They go, oh, the right wing says Trump's backtracking. No, that was the media misrepresenting, saying he hates Mexicans, just like you always you know, get lied about. And then they say you flip-flop when you say nice things because they're misrepresenting what you really said.
Yeah, well, you're talking about all these activists and ACLU, and you're talking about the news media. There's some good people in the news media. You know that. You're in the news media. You're a good guy. You get your message across. So that's something you have to put up when you're high profile, when they're zeroing in on you and using the power of the United States government with all their money and their agendas. It's sad. It's sad.
Sure, let's come back and talk about the campaign and how we help you get elected, because it's a strong message to the establishment Republicans, the Democrats, everybody else. They're not going to be able to jackknife this like they did with Roy Moore if we get behind Sheriff Arpio.